What is up, everybody? My name is Justin Alvarado, and welcome to the MVP podcast.
Hey guys, your co-host Myko Garcia, and it is my pleasure to welcome another guest. This time, another household Lasallian name. We have a coach this time, and this one goes back into my roots because this guest was actually my former coach back in my varsity days. So I'm very excited to have this episode with him. So let me welcome Coach Gian Nazario. Hi, Coach Gian.
Hey,
Hi, Coach.
thank you, Justin. Thank you, Myko. Myko, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on board.
yeah,
Super excited to break down a lot of
yeah.
things. And yeah, thanks. Thanks
Right.
again.
So let's get right into it. So for those who don't know, Coach Gian is a very like his coaching background is very good. Former assistant coach for the De La Salle Bell Junior Archers, former head coach De La Salle University Green Archers, and recently a new assistant coach for the PBA team Terrafirma Dyip. So yeah,
Yeah.
coach. Yeah, if you could, how was the new hiring for you? Like, how sure you must be happy to be part of
Well,
the.
actually, it's been going really well. Uh, I've uh, came on board. I came on board about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, very
Unfortunately,
fresh.
we had to stop last week. We had to stop last week because of the pandemic, because of the virus,
Yeah,
and very
yeah.
unfortunate. But better to be safe than sorry. It's been good. It's been good. Something really different, and but at the same time, I'm learning a lot from the coaching staff, and of course, learning a lot from the players as well.
Great, great. Mm, can you talk us through your experience, coach, from like upscaling from the juniors and then going to collegiate level? Yeah, how was that for you, coach? Sana man.
Well, actually, siguro I'll give you guys a really quick background lang on how I started coaching. Um, a neighbor of mine, yung anak niya plays for Zobel and was gonna play sa finals ng Passerelle.
Okay.
This was the time of Miguel Fortuna, no, Jeric Fortuna, Nico Elorde, and they played San Beda in
Mm,
the finals. So I was invited. I watched the. It was my first time to watch a game, and it was Zobel pa playing.
right.
So syempre, kind of goosebumps experience for me nung nakita ko yung player kasi I was once like them, no. So yun yung that's actually how it started. And nakita ko na how the game is being played, how the game was being played back then. And then si Coach Magsi, Coach Raymond
Maxi.
Magsumbol,
Yeah.
walked up to me and asked me he asked me if I wanted to coach because there was an opening. There was an opening in Suzubel, and right there and then, sabi ko, sige, game ako. So the following school year, I was introduced to the team, the pastoral team, and then si Coach Magsi went up sa
Uh,
aspirant.
aspirants.
So back then it was Coach Boris the juniors, Magsi sa aspirant. I was with the pastoral team at Coach Warren sa SBP. So that's
SBP.
how it started. And I was absorbed by Coach Boris. I was absorbed by the juniors team. And I've been his assistant we've been together as a staff for what, 16 years now?
Yeah.
16
Tagal,
years.
grabe.
And
Yeah.
it's easy. It's crazy. Tagal na.
Yeah. Yeah.
16 years. And it was a great experience. It's
Yeah.
really humbling
Yeah.
to be with Zobel again and to be able to share my knowledge sa basketball and sa mga players. The Going back to your question, yung transition wasn't really that hard kasi all throughout I was with Lasal. I think it's just the handling of the players. Kasi sa high
Players.
school, it's really the molding. You try to develop them.
Mm.
Sa college kasi it's a collection of really good talent, and then
Right.
you have to do your best to let them buy into to the system or what you guys want to happen, what the coaching staff wants to happen. So yun yung ano, yun yung challenge lang doon, just for the players to buy in to the system and make them believe that it's gonna work.
Right. Right.
Okay.
See.
I got a quick
Yeah.
follow up, if that's okay. Like you were in your situation, coach. You were invited to be a coach. Um, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example,
Zero knowledge of coaching, ah.
yeah,
Zero
right,
Oh,
knowledge of
right,
okay.
right. So like for example, if people out there are also aspiring to be a coach, like where would they have to sort of start? Like how do they find
well
these
sounds
opportunities?
well, it sounds cliche, no, but it starts really from yung attachment mo sa game, yung love of the game, as they would say. Kasi coaching demands a lot of
Attention.
attention.
Right.
It really demands a lot of attention. It really demands a lot of time. And for you to, madaling sabihin, nagko-coach ako ng mga bata. Madali sabihin na I can draw plays on the board. But it's different when you're dealing with different personalities already, different attitudes, and try to mold them into one and be a good unit, di ba? So what I can say to those who are aspiring to be a coach, siguro ano lang, yung feel of the game is very important. The feel of the game, the understanding of the game, and doon pa lang, doon mag-snowball effect na yan eh. No matter what kind of time your team, whether you have players 5'10" and below, all that. But if you can make it work, why not? Diba? So again, it's just gonna snowball on on yung feel mo for the game and your love for the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
All right.
Agree with that. Like, I feel like if you really love the game,
Yeah, sir.
yeah, it's
Sure,
easy
sir.
for you to keep on learning about it and keep on staying at teaching your players how to do it the right way. No shortcuts. The importance of practicing every day. Yeah, sure.
You know how it is, Myko.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
in your how do I say, in your development coach as a in your coaching days and until now, especially in your coaching days now, was there any like did you have like an idol that you looked up to in terms of coaching or
Well,
was there
actually, yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was I was exposed a lot. Siyempre, I worked for Coach Boris. No, I think my first 4 or 5 years, I really learned a lot from him. From si Coach Boris is a very detailed coach. Yung attention niya to detail is kumbaga, how would I say it? Not unbelievable, but grabe yung attention niya sa detail, grabe yung patience niya sa pagturo. And yung first 5 years ko na yun, talaga I was really paying attention to how he teaches, how he talks to his players. You know, aside from the cursing and all that, yung you just can't sometimes magugulat ka na lang how these players were able to blend in together at the same time, play for do what Coach Boris wanted them to do. So sabi ko, parang yung parating pumapasok sa isip ko, paano niya nagawa yun? So talagang the ins and outs of talking to the players off the court, talking to the players on the court, doon pala nakita ko how very important it was. So si Coach Bor was one of my mentors. And then I have Coach Luigi Trillo, who's with Meralco. He's a mentor of mine also. I worked for him 2010, 2012 with Cebuana Luillier in the PBA D League. So during that time, he was an assistant of Coach Tim Cohn with Alaska. So very again, Coach Tim Cohn, of course, he's I would say the
Yeah,
greatest
fair.
right now.
PBA coach.
And
Yeah.
si Coach Luigi has been a long time assistant for Coach Tim. And ganun din, very, very, very great coaching style when it comes to detail. So yun. And aside from that, I just watch a lot of games. PBA,
Right.
Bundesliga, sorry, Euroleague,
Euroleague. Yeah.
local games. Yeah. So, yeah, talagang I just
See.
expose myself to a lot of clips, a
Sources.
lot of videos, a lot
Right.
of
Right.
coaching.
I see. Especially it's nice that you said EuroLeague, because for me the Europeans have a really distinct style of playing. Na I would say it's different from the NBA, or I mean not NBA but American style of basketball, because for me Americans, their athleticism just allows them to play a certain way, but Europeans don't have that same athleticism. So I think they play really smarter and really, yeah. So it's really,
That's
and
correct.
right, and the fact that EuroLeague isn't really, I would say, televised here. So not a big. I wouldn't say like majority of basketball fans would really watch
Right.
EuroLeague,
You
especially in
have
the
to go out
Philippines.
of your way to watch it.
Yeah,
Yes, and yun nga, you really have to invest. I mean, if you have to like subscribe online for a year just to hone your craft, I did it.
and
So
yeah,
kahit pa paano it has helped me. Kahit pa paano it has helped me a lot.
yeah, yeah, and that just goes back to what you were saying earlier about just the love of the game. Like that's where someone could start, is love of the game, and you're watching all these different leagues and different sources of film. So yeah, it's great. It's great. So now that we're talking about where you get your knowledge and how you build your own wisdom, was there actually a time or an instance when you learned from a player and like you got this sort of wisdom from that player and it contributed to your coaching mentality?
Actually, the funny thing about it is it's not the wisdom. No? It's not the wisdom, but the opportunity presented itself to me because back back in the day, to Zobel, we don't really recruit players.
Yeah, yeah,
We don't recruit until recruitment has been the part of high school basketball already. Zobel started to recruit. So what I'm trying to say is different personalities started to come in. You know, you have a
right,
player
right.
from Cebu, you have a player from Zamboanga, but these players, you have to understand, come from different backgrounds, come from different family histories, different situations. And when they started to come into Isabel, me also being not so experienced coach yet, parang for me it was all about winning. Parang win at all costs, 'di ba? As you would say. But that alone, parang yung understanding ko kasi back then was like the athlete is a collective um, group of people with the same needs.
Right, right.
No? Nun pala, it's different. It's different. It's a group of people having the same goal, but having different, how would I say it? Different individual needs.
Right.
You understand?
I understand. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Diba? So,
Yeah.
so parang ako before, win at all costs, kailangan, diba? Murahin kita para manalo lang tayo. Yung ganon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
knowing na kakamura ko sa'yo, nung pala may trauma ka pala sa mura, and it doesn't work for you anymore.
Mm. That
Diba?
one.
So it's different. Tapos,
Yeah. Yeah.
tapos, for example, this player, um, ang tagal niyang nahiwalay sa family niya, he just stays at the dorm. And then here you are, he's having a bad day. Here you are, galit na galit ka sa kanya just because of one silly turnover. Parang instead of teaching him or letting him know how he can avoid making that turnover again, papagalitan mo lang. Diba? So nawawala yung teaching, nawawala yung development part,
Right.
nawawala yung molding. So yun yung na-experience ko, going back to your question, na itong mga players na to, when I was able to handle this team, parang tatlo lang yata yung homegrown ko nun eh. I only had 3
I saw
homegrown.
that. Nag-transition, grabe, from homegrown, yeah. Naging ano. Yeah.
I only had 3. I only had 3 homegrowns, and the rest were from different provinces. So different backgrounds, different cultures growing up. Kailangan talaga, yun yung naturo sa akin, itong group of players na to. And I was lucky. This team, I think this was a 2017 team of mine sa Paya. That alone, when I slowly was able to understand each of them, buti nanalo kami, buti we won a championship. So yun talaga, it taught me a lot.
That's such a nice perspective, in seeing that players have individual needs, and it shouldn't be covered by just winning the need of a team. When sometimes you just have to fine tune the single things before the whole goal. Man. That's why you're one of my favorite coaches. Che, grabe. Kaya favorite kita, coach eh. Personally, I felt that from you, coach. Like personally, like from all the coaches that I've had before in the past, like you were always the right balance of strict, but also a good balance of like approachability. Like under you, like I wasn't scared to make a mistake. Like for me, like it was from you where I learned like making a mistake is okay. Hindi yung I tried something out lang, minura na ako na biglang di pala pwede yun. Dapat sundin lang dapat yung triangle. Like di ako pwede do my own moves sa triangle. Dapat get to the last option, run the whole play, and that's the good way to do it. Yeah. So we were talking about, I guess from the previous topic we were talking about, you were talking about how important it is to mold everyone into a good unit, into a strong unit. So for your personal coaching style, how would you establish your culture that you want in your team?
Actually, it's just for me, it's yung approach ko kasi, since I started coaching, it has to be a continuous learning. It has to be continuous learning. And alam niyo naman, di ba, the game has evolved so much, halos every year. If you're really gonna pay attention to it, ang daming changes, ang daming defensive schemes, ang daming offensive sets, all that. Even how players play is different now. Diba? So, sa akin talaga, um, how would I say it? You become a student of the game always. You have to be a student of the game always, whether you're a coach, you're a player, or you're the best player of the team. Because when you stop learning, you stop growing, and you stop being a sponge na nag-absorb lang ng whatever your coach is saying. Mahirap 'yon. Mahirap 'yon. And you're just gonna rely on your talent. That's different. And so sa akin, I have to let my players understand it should be a continuous learning. You have to always go back to your why, your hows, your what. I mean, how would I say? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What is your purpose? And how can you reach this? Or what's your goal? And then eventually, how can you reach this goal? So, kailangan yung consistent. Kailangan consistent reminders sa mga players. And that's how I try to build the culture of continuous learning sa mga teams na na-handle ko. If not only for the team, kasi sometimes it's really a challenge to let them buy into that. But if you were able to touch base to an individual, for example, Aljun,
Yeah.
diba? For example, Aljun. Si Aljun, I've known him for
Yeah.
quite some time already.
Since
So,
yeah.
yung if you talk to Aljun regularly, 'di ba? You talk to Aljun regularly, makikita mo yung growth niya, not only yung galing niya sa basketball, but yung understanding on why he's in this position right now. Especially when he applied for the draft. Halos every night magkausap kami niyan. And he would ask me, dami niyang questions. And yung mga ganon, you would appreciate eh.
Yeah.
Those things you would appreciate. Kasi um, yung masasabi mo yung personality ng player na kahit na how successful he is now, yung humility niya nandun pa rin eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung
Grabe.
humility niya nandun
Yeah.
pa rin. Um, so yun, you always have to be a student of the game, be a sponge, and always go back to your why, how, and what. Kung bakit ka nagba-basketball. I think that's very important. And that's how I build a culture. That's how I see it. Which is how I see it.
That's, yeah, that's great because I feel like also with that sense of I'm always supposed to learn something or there's something that I can add to my game, something I could improve in my game. I think it takes away players getting big headed. It takes players feeling that I'm too good. I'm okay. I can do whatever I want. If with that culture, man, everyone just wants to keep getting better, and it's a good benefit for the team as well.
Mm.
Man, parang gusto ko na mag-coach
Exploring
No,
career
I mean
opportunities.
the reason why I'm saying this, kasi kids nowadays, kumbaga, lalo na now during the pandemic, everything's on your phone. You always watch the highlights, you always watch the moves, the dribble combinations, and all that.
Right.
But nakakalimutan mo yung purpose.
The process.
Nakakalimutan
Also.
mo yung purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yun lang. That's why it's very important to tap him at the back. Uy, teka muna. That's not what I wanted. Diba? That's not what I wanted. I only wanted you to dribble once and shoot it. Pero you took like 7 dribbles before you took that shot. And your defender was there. So, alam mo yung ganun.
Yeah. Okay na yung catch and shoot Nagpa-step back 3 yung pa Nagpasikat pa ng konti. Okay na yung catch and shoot
How do you feel about those kinds of moments, coach? Like, for example, okay, like this is what's planned, but then player X
Deviates.
does this instead, adds a bit of flash, adds a bit of flair, pero pasok naman.
Yeah.
um, ano yun? Okay lang or pagalitan ba yun?
No, no, no. Siyempre, yun yung mga moments na, no, 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 di ba? Yung mga ganun. Okay, teka mo lang, okay
Yeah.
lang, okay lang, okay lang. Yung mga ganun eh.
Yeah.
Pero, um, you have to go back to, let's say whether he makes it or not, and then there's a dead ball or a timeout. One way or another, if you're a good coach, you're gonna walk to that player, walk up to that player, and tell him it was a good shot because you made it. But if you didn't make it, just imagine all the 14 guys sitting down, watch you took the, and watched you took that shot, take that shot. 'Di ba? Parang, uy, okay lang pala kay coach na tumira ng ganyan.
Right.
'Di ba? So kahit pa paano, you have to address it. 'Di ba? Kahit pa paano, you have to address it right away. 'Di ba?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Parang, tumira ako sa may tumira ako ng malayo. Yung sunod na player mo, tumira din. Nagkanda loko-loko na, di ba? So you have
Right.
to, not only approach that player, but you say it sa lahat. Inform everybody, hey, a while ago si Myko took a step back without no one guarding him. Diba? Buti he made it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I have one.
Yeah.
All right. I have one last question, I guess, before we wrap up this segment. It just came to mind. Um, when you said bad shot, immediately the first thought that came into my head was Dame Lillard's shot over Paul George in
On
the
the game winner.
playoffs a couple of years
Game
ago.
winner.
Like Paul George said it was a bad shot,
Yeah.
diba?
Yeah.
And I guess from a coach's perspective, actually not even from
Yeah.
a coach, from any fan in the world, if they missed that shot, I think it's fair to say na people would be like, but kasi kailangan ganun pa yung tira eh, tie game,
Yeah.
layo pa, step
Yeah.
back pa, but he made it, so at least
Yeah.
like he was that was pretty
Yeah.
iconic. But if
The thing with that,
you were in that
the
situation,
thing with that
tapos,
is,
diba? How do you deal with it?
the thing with that is, if I was who is the coach Todd, right? Coach of
Right.
Portland.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure nakikita niya si Damian Lillard practicing that shot every practice.
Mm.
That's true.
I'm quite sure. 'Di ba? So,
Yeah.
okay lang sa akin 'yon. I'll take that. And I mean, he's my best
Star.
player.
Yeah.
And I've seen him working on that shot. So okay lang. Pero if I see you in practice, just doing whatever, and then we get into that situation and you take that shot when you could have taken something else or maybe passed the ball to a higher percentage, then that's a different story.
Okay, that's
Diba?
fair game.
But yeah, game is on the line. I've seen you work on this. Talagang bibigay ko sa yung bola.
Yeah. Okay.
Diba? But if it
Right.
was LaMarcus, oh no, wala na si LaMarcus sa kanila nun. I don't know.
Kasi mga Anthony Simons. Second
If they
years.
took a shot, or maybe it was
Oh, yeah.
Cantor.
Oh my God. Yeah. Ibang usapan na yun.
Right.
Mura na yun.
And it makes a lot of sense because well, me as a big fan of the game as well, sometimes close games, not even maybe regular season or playoffs, sometimes you see down the stretch coaches not taking timeouts even when the game is on the line. They just give it to the best player, and they go to work.
Just let it flow.
And
Just let it happen.
like I mean, I get how sometimes some coaches would prefer to have a timeout, set something, plan something, and some would just like, hey, ikaw na bahala dyan. Like, just take over, and it's cool how like learning from a coach's perspective, digging into someone who's been in those situations. It's cool because as a fan, pretty mixed sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
sometimes parang ay dapat nag-timeout para sure or ano, 'di ba?
Para may set play.
Hindi yung parang Kyrie ISO, bahala
Yeah.
na.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hindi kasi in
Nice.
that situation, when you call a time, that's the ano there eh. If you call a timeout, you give your opponent the time to
Yeah.
scout you.
Gather. Yeah, to gather
Right.
You give your
to be
time
ready.
to,
Yeah.
and to put the best defender on your
Mm-hmm.
best guy.
There.
So,
Yeah.
yun yung ano nun. That's correct, Justin. No? You're correct. Talagang medyo you really have to weigh it. Eh. You really have to weigh it.
All right. That's pretty cool. Like I feel like that could be its own segment even, like do you call a timeout? Do you foul when you're up 3, right? I think that's been more of a recent hot take. Like
Yeah.
diba, when you're up 3, do you foul so you just give out two
Yeah.
free
Fire
throws
two free throws.
para
Or...
at least diba, you don't give them 3. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you dig that video, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. And last but not least, don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any video.